जय ओं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद महाराज की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की समवेत भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। So today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, Canto 10, Chapter 51, from text 54 to 63. So we'll chant text 54 to 63 and we'll recite 63. Text 54. मन्ये ममानुग्रह ईशते कृतो राज्यानुबन्धा उपगमो यदृच्छया य प्रार्थ्यते साधुभिरेकचर्चया वनं विविख्याद् अखण्डभूमिपै. The translation: My Lord, I think you have shown me mercy, since my attachment to my kingdom has spontaneously ceased. Such freedom is prayed for by saintly rulers of vast empires who desire to enter the forest for a life of solitude. Text 55. न कामयन्य तव पाद सेवनात् अकिंचन प्रार्थ्यतमद्वरं विभो आराध्य कस्त्वां हि अपवर्गदंहरे वृणीत आर्यो वरद संबंधनम. O all powerful one, I desire no boon other than service to your lotus feet, the boon most eagerly sought by those free of material desire. O Hari, what enlightened person who worships you, the giver of liberation, would choose a boon that causes his own bondage? Purport: the Lord offered Muchukunda anything he desired, but Muchukunda desired only the Lord. This is pure Krishna consciousness. Text 56. तस्माद्विसृज्या शिष ईश पर सर्वतो रजस्तमः सत्त्वगुणानुबन्धनः निरञ्जनं निर्गुणमद्वयं परं त्वां ज्ञाप्तिमात्रं पुरुषं व्रजाम्यहम्. Therefore, O Lord, having put aside all objects of material desire, which are bound to the modes of passion, ignorance and goodness, I am approaching you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for shelter. You are not covered by mundane designations, rather you are the Supreme Absolute Truth, full in pure knowledge and transcendental to the material modes. Purport: the word Nirgunam here indicates that the Lord's existence is beyond the qualities of material nature. One might argue that Lord Krishna's body is made of material nature, but here the word Advayam refutes that argument. There is no duality in Lord Krishna's existence. His eternal spiritual body is Krishna and Krishna is God. Text 57. Chiramiha brujinartastapyamano nutaper abitrusan mitro labdha santi kathanchit saranada samupetat tatpadabja paratman abhaya amruta asoka pahi mam misaha. For so long I have been pained by troubles in this world and have been burning with lamentation. My six enemies are never satiated, and I can find no peace. Therefore, O giver of shelter, O supreme soul, please protect me, O Lord, in the midst of danger. I have, by good fortune, approached your lotus feet, which are the truth and which thus make one fearless and free from sorrow. Text 58. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Sarvabhauma Maharaja Matiste Vimalarjita Bare Pralobhita Syapi Na Kamer Vihita Yataha. The Supreme Lord said, O Emperor, great ruler, your mind is pure and potent. Though I enticed you with benedictions, your mind was not overcome by material desires. Text 59. Pralobhito bareryatva mama pradaya vidhitat na dhire kanta bhaktanam sobhividyate kvachit. Understand that I enticed you with benedictions just to prove that you would not be deceived. The intelligence of my unalloyed devotees is never diverted by material blessings. Text 60. Yunjanam abhaktanam pranam adibhirmanaha akkhina vasanang rajan drusyate punarithitam. The mind of non-devotees who engage in such practices as pranayama are not fully cleansed of material desires. Thus, O king, material desires are again seen to arise in their minds. Text 61. Vicharasva mahim kamam maya vesitamanasah astvevam nityadatubhyam bhaktir apayini. Wander this earth at will with your mind fixed on me. May you always possess such unfailing devotion for me. Text 62. Khyatra dharmam sthito jatun Khyatra dharman sthito jantur Nabadhir mugayadhibihi Samahitas tatastapasa Jahi angam mad upasritaha. Because you followed the principles of a Kshatriya, you killed living beings while hunting and performing other duties. You must vanquish the sins thus incurred by carefully executing penances while remaining surrendered to me. Text 63, the last verse. Janmanyantare rajan sarvabhuta sruhuttamaha bhutva dijabarastvang vai mamupesyasi kevalam. Janmanyantare rajan sarvabhuta sruhuttamaha bhutva dijabarastvang vai mamupesyasi kevalam. Janmani anantare rajan sarvabhuta sruhuttamaha bhutva dijabarastvang vai mamupesyasi kevalam. Mataji. Word meaning Janmani in the birth, Anantare immediately, Rajan king, Sarva of all, Bhutva living beings, Sruhittamaha a supreme well-wisher, Bhutva becoming, Dijabaraha an excellent, Brahmanatvam you. Acha, Dijabara means excellent Brahmana. Tvam you, by indeed, Mam to me, Upesyasyasi will come, Kevalam exclusively. Translation: O king, in your very next life, you will become an excellent Brahmana, the greatest well-wisher of all creatures, and certainly come to me alone. Purport: Sri Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Sruhdam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam santiricchati. A person attains peace by understanding me to be the well-wishing friend of all beings. Lord Krishna and his pure devotees work together to rescue the fallen souls from the ocean of illusion. This is the real purport of Krishna conscious movement. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 10th canto, 51st chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Deliverance of Muchukunda. So, you have already heard about how King Muchukunda introduced by Krishna himself, and by now he understood that this person who is in front of me is Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And he remembered that even Gargacharya foretold about him. And then he praised Lord Krishna by his stuti. And Lord Sri Krishna, by becoming very much pleased by his stuti, he offered benedictions. After offering benedictions, he told, please ask any boon as you like, anything. So, after hearing Lord's words, Muchukunda again is telling all these verses, and again Krishna Bhagavan will say something also at the end. Muchukunda, after hearing Lord's pleasing words for benediction, so Muchukunda is asking, O my dear Lord, after all, I have now come to your shelter. So you are asking me to ask for any boon. I don't want anything except serving to your lotus feet. So Muchukunda is asking Lord and his service, and don't want to get birth again. And his stuti was such a nice for all material beings who are entitled in material pleasure. If they will hear or read the Muchukunda stuti, definitely they will be relieved and they can understand what is the goal of life. So, but still Lord is telling him, please ask any boon. So now Muchukunda is telling, I don't want any other boon except serving your lotus feet. And why you are asking only my lotus feet? Why not any other bhoga, Aishwarya, anything? So Muchukunda is telling that I am from Satyajuga and I have everything. And I have seen that how I am entangled in material activities and these 6 enemies, that Kama, Krodha, Lobha and all that, and with these 5 indriyas, with mind, I was struggling so long. So now by some good fortune, somehow or other I come to your lotus feet, I am seeing you. So now I don't want anything. I have very long experience of material life and how much struggle I have gone through, so I don't want it again. Please. So when Krishna is telling him, no, you can ask anything. Now you have this big body, you are even now alone. So till death you can enjoy whatever material opulence you can enjoy, and then after that anyway you will come back to me. No. But then again Muchukunda is telling, no, don't tell me like that. So holding the lotus feet of Krishna, he is crying again and again and telling, no, please don't say like that. Please don't say like that. When I was fighting in the support of demigods with the demons, for long chirang, for long period of time, without taking rest, and I have that spruha, I will win the fight, and I did it. But what gains I got? Again and again, my 6, including mind, my 6 senses, I was defeated. No way we can satisfy our senses. So somehow or other, by my good fortune, I am now in front of you. Please don't tell me to enjoy again in this material world. And please, I don't want again. I want to serve your lotus feet again. I don't want anything else. So this is the Saranagati of Muchukunda Maharaj. Muchukunda Maharaj, this whole history, he is showing how come he was such a famous king, a ruler, who was selected by the demigods to fight for them. Even the demigods, they come down to this earthly planet to select a befitting person to be their captain, and they find Muchukunda Maharaj. He was such a glorious king, and he went fight on behalf of demigods for long period of time without sleeping, without taking rest, and finally he won the battle. And when Devata, they said, "Oh my dear king, how can we thank you? Thank you is very small word for you. What do you want? Please tell us what we can give you. You favor us so much." Muchukunda said, "What you give me? I am already an emperor. And you people, you just invite me because you are not that powerful. I came to help you. What you will give me? Okay, but one thing I can ask from you, that in this material world, everybody is not perfect. None of them are perfect. any calculation is wrong happens. So you people are not like that. So can you calculate my future and tell me how long I will stay in this life? Can you tell me about my paramayu, my date of expiry? So demigods are expert. So immediately they calculate, they told. So this is, I think, Khatwang Maharaj. So he asked them, okay, I have fought with you for a long time, I have not taken proper rest. So arrange me somewhere something that I should take rest for a long time. So Devata, they told, okay, we are giving you special boon that whenever you sleep somewhere you can sleep, find a nice place to sleep. And for a long time you can sleep, day, night. If somebody come and wake you up, then by your sight he will be burned into ashes. So Krishna took that opportunity to kill Kalajavana. So Muchukunda Maharaj wake up, and Muchukunda Maharaj, by seeing the Supreme Lord, he could not recognize. And he introduced himself, then Krishna introduced himself. And when Muchukunda Maharaj knew that he is the Supreme Lord, it's natural in previous ages, especially in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, even common people, they used to know about the goal of their life. Because in the schools and colleges, whatever they used to study, in their syllabus, in their course, this Atma Jnana used to be there. But now in modern education it is not there. But at that time it was there. So when he saw that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he became so overwhelmed and started glorifying him and started doing prayers. Such a nice prayers. So now Lord is giving him boon. Ask anything, ask anything. By hearing Lord's pleasing words, Muchukunda Maharaj, now he is surrendering. Fully surrender. He said, no. You want to benedict me, but I want only one benediction, that please allow me to be an unalloyed devotee at your lotus feet. That's what I desire only now. Nothing else, because I have seen long life, the whole experience I have. I don't want it again. So please allow me to be your good devotee of yours. Then again Krishna said, no, whatever you please, why you want to nothing? You will come back to me, don't worry, but then Muchukunda Maharaj again saying, no, I don't want. Please allow me. And begging, crying at his feet, and telling that these 6 enemies are always after me, and so I am fighting with them for long time, and trying to be happy, but it's not possible. So finally, I am here in front of you at your lotus feet. I know your lotus feet is Asoka, Abhaya and Amritam. If somebody takes shelter of your lotus feet, then he will become fearless to death even. If anybody takes shelter of your lotus feet, he will become really fearless, Abhayam. And if somebody takes shelter of your lotus feet, Asoka, Abhaya and Soka, he will free from all kind of Soka. Asoka, Abhaya, Amrita. So somehow or other I achieved that. You are in front of me. And how can you tell I should go and enjoy again? Any saintly king anybody who knows you, any Mahapurush, any sadhu, santa, if they know their goal of life, how they can ask enjoyment from you, which again bind them into this material body or material existence? No, 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 I don't want that. I don't want that. So Mukunda Maharaj is saying, Manye, I am accepting that this is special mercy of yours. Special mercy. Now what mercy I have given? Now because to have the renounced order, renouncing all opulences, the country, well-being, everything renouncing, it is not that easy. Previously, many big emperors, many big saintly rulers, at the end of their life, they want to go to forest and they pray you and they try their best to renounce, but it is not that easy. They could not achieve it. But for me, it is spontaneous. Spontaneously, I lose everything. All my country, all my countrymen, all my opulence, everything. I am sleeping for a long time and everything gone. By time itself, you are the time in. So by the time I lose everything, now I am alone. From Satyuga, I am alone now. I am such a big body, big height. Now nobody is there like me. So I have lost everything. So that is special mercy. We could not understand that Tyagat Santi Anantaram. So here Muchukunda Maharaj confirms that by Prapti we cannot get happiness. If you get anything, get an opulence, get everything, you cannot get. But you lost everything, then we get real happiness. Because by losing everything, you are alone, then you are forced to pray to Lord. If there is something, then we'll ask them. That's why in Bhagavatam, in many places, it is said, at the time of death, how those who are really learned, those who are really blessed by Lord, how they leave their body. Prabhupada used to say, Bhajan karo, sadhan karo, marte jan le hoy. No matter whatever bhajan, sadhan you are doing, but the time of death, how you leave your body, that proves what kind of bhajan, sadhana you used to do. So, in 5th chapter also, in other places also, we see that Vidurji, he came to help his brother Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was, after losing all his opulence, all his sons, everything after Mahabharata, he was staying with Yudhishthira. And Yudhishthira Maharaj was so nice and he was supplying all kind of facilities to Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. And they were so happy when Vidur came and met them. Immediately Dhritarashtra said, "Oh, my dear Vidur, you come after a long time. Really, I am telling you, this is fact. I was not that happy when I was there with my sons. I have 100 sons. I was the king. Everything was there. But I was not that happy. This Yudhishthira is so nice. I didn't know that before. He is giving so much happiness to me. All kinds of facets, all arrangement. I never ever experienced that sort of happiness when I was king, when I was with my all 100 sons. Now I am getting so nice. So nice food, so nice, everything so perfect. He has arranged everything. And Vidur came all the way to help him. And Vidur tell, you are telling you are happy now? You don't know, your whole life you are trying to kill them. You are trying to kill these Pandavas your whole life. Again and again and again you tried. Now somehow or other you lose everything. All your sons are killed by Bhima. And at the end of the battle it is said, uh, Dhritarashtra, when all his sons are killed, and he knew that Bhima only killed his century, all 100 out. So he, outsidely, he called Bhima. He said, "Oh my dear Bhimasen, I like you so much. Please come. At least I want to embrace you one time. You are so nice." Anyway, he was saying in such a nice way, loving way. Bhimasen thought, "Oh, our grandfather, he is, anyway, father, he is asking me so nicely, so I should." So Krishna was there. "Where are you going?" "Now Dhritarashtraji is asking me, he want to embrace me, he is so happy with me." "No, don't go like this. You don't know Dhritarashtra what is going on." "No, what? He only told me in such a loving way." "No, you don't know his love." "Now then what to do?" "Now I am telling you, you want to know his love?" "No, yes." "Now make a same body of yourself in steel frame. In stainless steel, you made a whole Bhimasen body in such. So he took time from Dhritarashtra, he said, and sometime he ordered somewhere steel leather machine. So they construct a steel Bhima, Lauha Murti, big, thick steel frame of Bhimasen, and with folding wheels. So he put that. Dhritarashtra is blind, he can't see. So Bhimasen is pushing that. "Please, my father Dhritarashtra, I am here. So you call me?" Okay, you are here, you are here. So he touched. "Oh, yes, Bhima, you are here. Oh, let me embrace you." He put his all force to embrace. It is not embracement. He want to smash him. The steel frame of Bhima was smashed. Such a forcefully he embraced. By seeing it, Bhimasen is, "Oh my Lord, so powerful." Steel body is smashed. Then Krishna told, "See, that is love." He want to kill you. He loves you so much. By embracing so much. Bhimasen understood, "Oh, cha, you love me so much. You want to kill me." And then finally, he came to stay at the guest house of Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira, Bhima, they were king, and he stayed. And Yudhishthira Maharaj used to send the prasad, lunch box, through Bhimasen. You go and give him. Bhimasen, he has experience in the end of the fight also. What kind of personality Dhritarashtra is. So he will give him the food nicely. But anyway, lunch packet was packed by the Yudhishthira Maharaj. Everything so nice food. But Bhima will go, he will give the food just like giving to a dog. He was treating like a dog, but Dhritarashtra was blind, he could not see. He, when he eat, "Oh, so nice, tasty food. So nice thing." So when Vidur told Dhritarashtra like that, "So how come you think that you are enjoying? Your whole life you try again and again, and even after battle of Mahabharata you want to kill Bhimasen. And the same Bhimasen is supplying you food. Do you think that he is serving you nicely? Oh, so nice food. Everything is nice." You don't know. This is your foolishness. So then Vidur was so learned person. So for 2-3 nights he talked to him. Now finally both Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they became so, they understood everything. He said, "Okay, so now what to do? We are already so old. Anytime we will die." "Now yes, that's why I come. Because you are my brother. Many long lifetime I was with you, serving you. So finally I can't see that you will degrade in your death time. So I want to help you. Now how do you want to help me? Now you will agree? Put your agreement. Whatever I will say, you have to follow it." "Yes. Because by that time, in 3 days long talk, whole night, Vidur convinced them that about the goal of life, and I want to help you, so please follow me. So what? In mid of the night, he said, just leave everything, come with me. And Vidur took Dhritarashtra and Gandhari to forest, where there is no bedroom, no bathroom, no prasad, nothing. He took the deep forest and said, now think your death is coming. Pray to Lord for your survival. That's it. No food, no drink, no sleep, nothing, just pray. And because for 3 long days, Vidura has giving them proper understanding, now both Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, they forget their eating, sleeping and drinking. They just meditate to Lord and want to give up their body. And it is described that in such a trance, thinking of Lord, they gave their body up. They said that Yoga Agni. So somehow or other death, and that is perfect death. They achieved Uchchagati, at least. And Bharat Maharaj in 5th canto is saying, what to do? My father was learned Brahmana. He used to teach me Gayatri many times, but I was not learning it, and he was trying again and again. But finally, this unlucky father of mine, such a learned Brahmana, he left his body surrounded by all my family members, all my brothers, sisters and everybody. That means he is saying the death which when you are surrounded by all your family members, that is the degraded death, as per Bhagavatam. And when you are, nobody is there, even you loudly asking for help, please help me, save me, nobody is there to listen it, and you die, that is best death. Because nirasraya mang jagadish rakhya. When you are at that time, nobody is there to help you, then forcibly you will remember Lord. And if you are surrounded by your kinsmen, your family members, forcibly you will not remember Lord. You will remember all of them, and they will come back to them again, but not in human body, becoming chuha, rat, or snake, or a cat, something like that. So, antakale, when we are living our body, our mind setup should be perfect. So here, Muchukunda Maharaj is telling, finally somehow I am here with you. To give up everything is not that easy. Not that easy. For me, it becomes spontaneous. And I have long experience of material life. I have gone through long period. So I don't want it. So finally he again, Chakravarti Thakur, he said that he was holding the feet of Supreme Lord and was crying and piteously and praying, please don't tell me that I have to enjoy again. Don't tell me this benediction again. Don't give me any boons. I want to be with you and serve you at the lotus feet. Be a good devotee of yours. So when Muchukunda Maharaj was praying like that, so then Krishna started from text 58 till 63, final part, when Lord tested Muchukunda Maharaj. So now he is telling, oh my dear Muchukunda, you are great king. Your intelligence and mind is fully purified. I tried my best. I enticed you with nice benedictions, but you didn't accept anything. So then Krishna told that actually, when I offer any benedictions, people will say, see, Lord is so pleased, he himself is offering benediction. The Lord here is telling, I used to offer benedictions to prove, to test them whether they are taking or not. Whether they are taking doing that. So that's why pralobhana, Krishna telling, this is my offering boon, Shirji pralobhana. Giving lobha, that by coming under lobha, you can, okay, oh my dear Lord, if you are giving, I am ready to take. So then I can understand you are not a standard devotee. Okay, you take and go. But those who are my unallied devotees, those heart and intelligence and mind is purified, even if I give them again and again benedictions, they will never accept it. They will reject it again and again. They will only ask for my service, loving devotional service. They will not ask anything else for themselves. That is the symptom of pure devotional service. So you have passed the test. Even if I enticed you with so many benedictions, but you didn't accept anything, you reject everything, you only prayed for loving devotional service, so you have passed through. So Lord is become so happy. He said, you have passed the test successfully. And now Lord is again telling something which any devotee will put question mark. How come Lord? We know that if you just remember Lord, jasya smarana matrena sarva papam pramuchyate. It is said in Shastra. Jasya smarana, jasya darsana, jasya nama ucharana is so powerful. And here, Muchunganda Maharaj and the Supreme Personality of Godhead front to front for a long time, for hours together. Lord touched him, Lord talked to him, he had the darshan of Lord, and Lord is so pleased and accepting, giving boons to him. And now Lord is telling, actually, okay, you want my devotional service, you want to be with me, but because you were a big emperor, Kshatriya, king, and because of your Kshatriya dharma, you have killed many animals in Mrigaya, and many people when you are fighting, so all the sins are still there. So you have to get rid of that sins, then you can come to me. What? Yes. So now any devotee, they can, how come the sins will be there? Just by jasya smarana matrena sarva papa pramuchyate. Everything will finished by smarana. And now everything is happened. Still sins are there. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling, actually, Lord is telling this not because he has sins. Lord is telling, because Lord understood that he wants my pure devotion, so he wants to be with me as my Parsada. But now it is not possible. Because now it is Dwapara Yuga. And I am, my Parsadas are Yudhishthir, and all these people are my Parsadas. They are the size of Dwapara Yuga. And he is of Satya Yuga. See, I accept him as a Parsada and take him, then all others see, who is this fellow? Who is this? They cannot accept him. It's really difficult for them. And he will see them, he said, who are they? They are mosquitoes or ants or what? Who are they? How come, my dear Lord? So he is not befitting now. So how can I deny directly? No, you are not. You can't come. So indirectly, Lord is telling, actually, you are a big king, so you have so many sins, this, that. So please, you go and do tapasya in mid forest. So when you get rid of your sins, then I will take you. Though Lord knew that in this battle, when I am going to now Mahabharata, many Juddha, I will take my enemies to Vaikuntha even. My enemies, I will give them to Vaikuntha. And here Muchukunda is such a nice dear devotee of mine. How can he will not get it? Of course he will get it. He doesn't have any sins with him. But because he is in a spectacular high body, such a high body, so how he will not fit now? He says that if I will take him, now I have to do Rukmini Harana Lila. and Jarasandha. So in Rukmini Hiranila, all Jarasandha and many other kings, they will come to fight with me. And when Muchukunda will be with me, he saw them. He will saw my Vipakya party, because he understood I am the Supreme Personality. When he see my anti-party, then he will kill them just like a man is killing mosquito. Just by lying this. Finish. Vishwanath Chakravarti is telling, Muchukunda will kill them exactly in his hand, without any weapons. Just like we are killing a mosquito, we are not using brain gun or rifle. So he will not use any bana, any astra, any weapons. He will kill all of this anti-party just by his hand, just by we are killing mosquitoes. So this will not be fitting in my pastime. How can I accept him, my Parsada now? It will not be fitting. But I cannot deny him, because he is my dear devotee. Of course I will accept if I am taking enemies to the Vaikuntha. So forget him, I will accept him not only Vaikuntha, I will accept him as my dear friend, always he will be with me, my Parsada. But now I am doing pastimes in Dwapara, I have to do all these things. So if I accept him now, then everything will get bad. It will not happen properly. So that's why Lord is telling, so actually you have killed many sins here still pending, so you go and take care of them, do some tapasya. Finally what? Now, when you take another bath, doing tapasya, you leave your body, then you will have next body. Then next body, again I have to come back to the material world? No, don't worry for that. I will be with you. When you will come, I will also come with you. The Janmani Anantare, Mukunda Maharaj saying, oh Hari, please don't do like that. I don't want to come back again. No, I know that you don't want to come back again. I will come back with you. We will be together. We will be together. You will be a wonderful, pure Brahmana. And I will be with you as your friend. And we will together, we will wander that time. And many, many, many people will be benefited by us. So in this talking, we can understand, Lord always want preachers. So he wants, no, you have to preach. Now you are not befitting preacher because your size is different. So you go and do tapasya. In the next life, you will come as a perfect preacher, as a Brahmana. And he said, no, my senses and my mind, I know that they are giving so much trouble. They are real enemy of mine. No, I know that. But because I am telling you will come, then your mind will be always with me. Your mind will never diverted from me. I am giving boon that. So don't worry, you have to come back again as a pure Brahman, and your mind will always be fixed with me. And I will be there also. Nobody else will recognize me, but you will recognize me. And at that time, you will be a perfect preacher of Krishna consciousness. So it is said that, though it is not mentioned, but in other Puranas, other places, it is said that the same Muchukunda Maharaj, and because Lord is telling him, you go, so he said, okay, if you are telling what to do. In crying mood, he went to deep forest and he sought for penance and he leave his body. And then next, in the Kali Yuga, because Dwaparanta Kali comes, in Kali Yuga, he took birth because Lord told you will become a pure Brahmana. He became Narsingh Mehta. It is said he became another Narsingh Mehta, such a elevated devotee. And Dwarkadhish was his friend. Dwarkadhish, Krishna was his friend, and so many loving pastimes were there. So many loving pastimes. Nice pastimes were there. How his dealings with Dwarkadhish. Dwarkadhish became his son, his brother, everything. Because he was very, very rich person. His father was very, very rich man. And he and his other, there were two sons. One son was following father and doing business. And this son, he was not doing anything. He was not studying in school, good study, because from the beginning, He was carried forward with Krishna consciousness. He was always hearing Shastra, reading Shastra, going to satsang, and doing nothing, doing bhajan. Then all his Gamawala, his father, mother, brother, everybody said, get out from here. You are doing nothing. His father said, no, 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 anyway, my son. He get him married. He said, after marriage, he may entangled in household life. But even after marriage, even after begetting one son and daughter, still he is totally detached. Then his family, they throw him out. He was alone in a kutia, begging. And what begging? Sing the glories of Lord always. Singing the glories of Lord. One time, his brother, he came, so Pitru Shraddha is there. Father was liking you so much. So this Shraddha time, you want to come, join Shraddha ceremony? Yes, yes. My father Shraddha will come. Now, okay, you can do these things. Now, okay, I will bring all these things. He has nothing. He said, I will beg and bring. So he went to market. He said, I have for Shraddha ceremony, I have to bring some ghee for at least prasadam. So he went to a ghee shop. He doesn't have anything. Ask any, so please give me, I want to borrow. When I will have money, I will pay you. Please give me now. All they say, I know you are a beggar. We will not give you, we will not give you. So one ghee merchant was there in Junagadh. He said, I know, I will not expect anything you will give me, but you ask. But I know that you are a very nice singer. You are a bhajan singer. Can you sing any bhajan for me? I will give you whatever you want. Okay, sit down and sing. Singing is singing, forget time. Here Shraddha ceremony is over. And he is singing there. He is singing and everybody is expecting. All his wife and daughters and the village people, his brother. He went to bring ghee, he is not coming. He is not coming, he is singing there in shop. And shopkeeper is totally mesmerized with his singing. And Lord himself, in the guise of Narsingh Mehta, he bring all, not only he, so many requirements. And he performed sadha. Even the elder brother, he said, oh, you got so many things. No, I have to, because I beg all these things. Some support they gave me. And that, this year sadha, millions of people they fed. And such a sometimes prasadam. Everybody under with dakshina and valva and everything. Everybody was so pleased. Even the elder brother was ashamed. I could not perform such a business, such a rich man. This beggar, how can he perform so nice, perfectly? And then finally at night time he brought some ghee. Narsingh Mehta coming. Everybody is praising, oh Narsingh today's feast was so wonderful. The envelope you give, oh, we have not accepted that kind of dakshina before. He says, I am coming now, bringing ghee. Who are you? What are you saying? Then even his wife, his sons, everybody was glorifying him. He could not understand. However, now I am bringing the ghee, everything. It is now evening. Everything is over so nicely. You have done perfect job. I have done, yes. You are there. Then Narsingh Mehta understood who was Narsingh Mehta. So that is Krishna is saying, I will be with you always. Your mind which always fixed with me. And we will be together. So many pastimes, Sauriya Seth and Narsingh Mehta. So that Lord is telling me, I don't want to accept you now. And when I will accept, then I will be yours. So that is Lord's nature. Sometimes he will say, no, not now, deprive you everything. Just like Bali Maharaj. He chastised him. He arrested him. He said, you go down. And Bali Maharaj accepted with everything. And he arrested Bali Maharaj. But actually speaking, he arrested by Bali Maharaj's love. For whole life he is there in security gate. Yes, Vamandev was there. So that is the nature of the Lord. So Muchukunda Maharaj and Krishna, this discussion, Krishna finally becomes so overpleased with Muchukunda Maharaj, he didn't accept him now. He said, go and do tapasya. But in next Janma Antare, you will come again because we have to do something. So will come again. So in this way, this Muchukunda's deliverance, the chapter 51 is over. So you can understand how Muchukunda Maharaj, just by his stuti, previously didn't do anything. He was sleeping for long time. And just by getting up from sleeping, by his prayers, immediately he win the Lord. And Lord reserved him for the next birth to do loving affairs with him, loving pastime to him. So that is the nature of pure unalloyed devotee, how it dealings with Lord, and that is the loving nature of the Lord. Hare Krishna.